I missed a couple of days of the scoop, and apparently half the poker world started checking the windows at Sal's room like the place was boarded up. Boys, relax. We're still here. The room is still here. The cards are still in the air. And the only thing shut down around here was my ability to keep up with real life for 48 hours. Lovely day, poker enthusiast. Welcome back to Sal's Scoop. And yeah, I know, the scoop missed a couple days. There were foster kid logs, there were moving stuff, there were bar stools being sold, there was Patty and Pop's diner, and this morning there was Emma going to motor registration for her permit, only to find out that passport and MCP wasn't enough ID, because apparently government paperwork enjoys watching hope leave a teenager's face in real time. So yeah, life has been lifing, but somewhere in the middle of all that, the poker world got weird. I walked away for a minute, and suddenly it feels like people are wondering if Sal's room disappeared into the fog like a Newfoundland ghost ship. Gone. Gone where? Boy, the room never left. Phil left. Phil was doing paperwork, Harrington, breakfast, barstool negotiations, and emotional damage control at motor registration. The room was still there. The chips were still there. The bad decisions were still lined up at the door with their lunch bags packed. Don't blame Sal's room because Phil had to be a functioning adult for 2 days. That's not a shutdown. That's a scheduling injury. And I'll own that. The scoop rhythm got knocked off. And when the scoop rhythm gets knocked off, it feels bigger than it is. Because we've built this thing where people expect the update. They expect the story. They expect the names. They expect Positive Phil to crawl out of the shadows and accuse everyone of crimes against pot odds. And when that doesn't happen for a couple days, the silence feels louder than it should. Exactly. People don't just miss the results. They miss the signal. The scoop tells them the room is breathing. No scoop. And suddenly someone's aunt, cousin's buddy is saying, "Is Sal's closed?" No, boy. Phil just fell behind. That's not a business update. That's a nap-based emergency. And honestly, that's what today is about. Not panic, not doom, not what happened to the room. It's about that weird feeling when you miss a beat and everyone starts filling in blanks that were never there. Because here's the truth. Saturday still happened. Sunday online still happened. Yeah, Monday was weird, but the room didn't vanish. The club didn't vanish. The players didn't vanish. The scoop paused. Sal's room didn't. Put that on a plaque. The scoop paused. Sal's room didn't. Right next to, "Please stop calling with 9 high and a dream." That wall's getting full, but I'll make room. Let's start with Saturday night at Sal's room. Sensational Saturday had 23 players and 21 rebuys. That's not gone. That's not dead. That's not shut down. That's a poker room doing poker room things. Linda Lamb finished 5th for $100. Dave Fifield was 4th for $120. Tina Chafe came 3rd for $310. KO finished 2nd for $520. And scooping the win was Diane Tobin for $780. Diane Tobin said, "Gone? I'm gone to the payout cage maybe." That's a different gone. That's acceptable gone. That's I came, I played, I collected, I left with more than I came in with. That's the type of gone we support in this establishment. And online, Saturday kept moving too. The daily freebuy saw myself and Dr. Flopper Popper scoop the tickets. The Flop and Pop had 27 entries. Chip Thief finished 3rd for $59.09. Bay Guy was 2nd for $78.80. And All In 10 Jack scooped the win for $105.11. Then 13 players played Phil's Deep Stack Drills. 77 GB was 2nd for $16.71. And Used to Be a Townie scooped the win for $22.29. There's the thing, online can feel quiet, and then somehow the same names keep showing up like raccoons at a shed door. 77 GB, Used to Be a Townie, All In 10 Jack, Dr. Flopper Popper. They're not gone, they're lurking. Some of them are probably playing 3 tables, eating toast and saying, "I'm not even trying tonight," while stealing every blind in sight. Sunday had no live action, and again, no live action does not mean no poker. The Sunday Micro Millions Online had 35 entries and used to be a townie scoop to win there too. Then, myself and Tina Chafe agreed to chop the Facebook subscriber free roll for 30 each. JE for the win and 77 GB scooped the tickets in the daily free buy. And with the added 110 from Mike Hines, the 550 Big Game Satty awarded 2 tickets. Wild Hog and Victor won those seats. So we'll see you guys August 1st. Now that right there matters. Mike Hines adds 110 and suddenly 2 more people are pointed at the big game. Wild Hog and Victor get the seats. That's not the room is gone. That's the ladder is still working by. And if you want to see, don't forget the date, August 1st. Don't be waking up August 2nd saying, was that the day? No, Captain Calendar, it was yesterday. Sunday also had Phil's Deep Stack Thrills and 77 GB scooped that one for $38.94. So Sunday was quieter on the live side, but online kept moving. Maybe not loud, maybe not explosive, but moving. And sometimes that's the story. Not every day is a packed house and a 4-way chop. Some days the story is simple, that the lights stayed on. And that's where people get fooled. If it's not loud, they think it's dead. Poker rooms don't work like that. Small clubs don't work like that. A small active player pool breathes. Some nights it roars, some nights it wheezes like an old lawnmower. But if there's still fuel in it, you don't throw it in the harbour, you give it a pull and see if she fires. And then we get to Monday. Monday is where it felt off. I was at the club to run the 550 Big Game Satty. Brian Reynolds arrived. Steve McMillan arrived. Parker was on his way at 8 p.m, but I looked at it and made the call and said no go. And I headed home. That's one of those calls nobody loves making. Because 2 people are there, another is on the way. You're standing in the room thinking, maybe if we wait. But sometimes waiting just turns into everyone staring at each other like they're trapped in a dentist office with poker chips. You made the call, no go, it happens. It's not fun, but it's part of running the room. And that's the part people don't always see. Calling a game off is not just flipping a switch. You're thinking about the players who showed up. You're thinking about the people on the way. You're thinking about whether the game has a real chance. You're thinking about not wasting everyone's night. And you're thinking, if I call this too early, I'll look wrong. If I wait too long, I look worse. There's no perfect answer. There's just the decision in front of you. And you know, someone somewhere will still say, should have waited. Of course they will. That person was probably home in sweatpants. It's easy to wait from the couch. It's harder when you're standing in the room with 2 players. One may be coming, and the clock looking at you like it wants a decision. Online Monday even felt off at first. The daily free buy had 15 entries and Tilting Tiger and Ryland took the tickets. 15 entries is light, no way around that. But then the PLO 4 cards Bad Decisions game had 36 entries. So again, weird night. Quiet in one place, strong in another. That is very PLO, boy. No Limit Hold'em is sitting there saying, where is everybody? And PLO kicks the door open with 4 cards, no plan, and a half-eaten sandwich. 36 entries for Bad Decisions, of course. Newfoundland might not answer a satellite, but offer 4 cards and emotional damage, and suddenly everybody's available. In that PLO game, All In 10 Jack finished 4th for $14.99. I took 3rd for $19.99. Ryland was 2nd for $26.66. And No ID scooped the win for $35.56. So even on a night that felt off, there was still action. There were still winners. There was still something to talk about. And that's really the whole point. No ID wins the PLO, which means somewhere out there a perfectly reasonable flop got treated like a suggestion. Ryland 2nd, Phil 3rd, All In 10 Jack 4th. That's not a dead night. That's a weird night. There's a difference. Dead means nothing happened. Weird means the game looked at the schedule and said, I'll do it my way, thanks. And that brings us back to the bigger picture. I missed a couple days. The scoop didn't happen the way it normally does. People noticed. The rhythm felt off. The room felt off. Online felt off in spots. But that does not mean anything is shut down. It means we're in the middle of a real life stretch. My move is getting closer. The schedule is breathing. The player pool is speaking. and I'm trying to keep all of it moving without pretending every day is perfect. That's the honest part. You can pretend everything is smooth, or you can tell the truth. And the truth is, small poker ecosystems are alive. They change, they dip, they spike, they surprise you. A game can miss one night and bang the next. A free buy can feel soft and then the PLO shows up wearing steel-toe boots. It's not instability, that's the room breathing. Exactly. I've said this before and I'll keep saying it. The schedule is not carved into stone. It evolves based on what people actually play. Not what they say they might play. Not what sounds good in a comment. Not what we all wish would fire every single time. The games that get support keep breathing. The games that don't get support have to be adjusted. That's not failure. That's how a real room survives. Because if you run every game forever just because it looks nice on the poster, you're not running a poker room. You're running a museum. And over here, folks, you'll see the Monday night satellite that hasn't fired since Confederation. Please don't touch the blinds. No, bye. Games earn their place here. Players decide with their feet, their buy-ins, and their rebuys. And the room listens. And tonight, we're back at it, live at Sal's room at 7:30 p.m. for Turbulent Tuesday. It's a $60 buy-in with $40 rebuys for 1 hour and a $20 add-on. If you were wondering if the room is still running, there's your answer. Come on in and play by. Turbulent Tuesday. The name alone tells you not to show up expecting emotional stability. 60 in, 40 rebuys, 20 add-on. That's not a tournament. That's a weather warning with chips. Online today, we got the daily free buy at 4 p.m. SummerSlam Step 2 at 6 p.m. At 7 p.m., the SummerSlam Step 4 and the Toonie Tuesday game. At 8 p.m., the 550 and the 850 Step 2s. At 8:30, the Flop and Pop. At 9 p.m., Phil's Deep Stack Thrills and the SummerSlam Step 3. And at 10 p.m., Ryland's Jam Smash Crash. That 10 p.m. name sounds like something you say after hitting a pothole on Kenmount Road by Jam Smash Crash. But I respect it. At least it tells you what's coming. You're not entering a tournament. You're entering a victim impact statement. So no, we are not gone. No, Sal's room is not shut down. No, the scoop disappeared for a couple days does not mean the room disappeared too. It means life got loud. And sometimes when life gets loud, the camera has to wait. But the story keeps moving, the room keeps moving, and the community keeps showing us what it wants by where it shows up. And let this be a lesson. You miss one scoop and everybody starts acting like the poker tables were carried off by aliens. Relax. Phil was probably doing faster logs with one hand, selling bar stools with the other, and emotionally recovering from motor registration in the corner. The room was fine. The room is fine. The room will be fine. Mostly. Depending on who calls off with bottom pair tonight. And to Emma, I'll say this. Kermit Day didn't go the way you wanted, sweetie. That stings. But we get the right ID, we go back, and we try again. That's life. That's poker. That's the room. A no-go today does not mean gone forever. Sometimes it just means not yet. Look at that. Motor registration turned into a poker lesson. Not bad, boy. Rejected by paperwork today. Back in line tomorrow. That's basically tournament life with worse lighting. So here's the final word. They thought we were gone. We weren't. We're still here. Still playing. Still adjusting. Still telling the story. And tonight, if you want to help make sure nobody has to ask where the room went, you know where to be. Sal's room, 7:30, Turbulent Tuesday. Bring your buy-in, bring your rebuy money, bring your emotional support add-on. And if someone asks if the room is still open, just point at the tables and say, but they're still making bad decisions in there. I'm fucking Phil. This is Sal's Scoop. Thanks for watching. See you on the felt and run good, you legend.